Hi, welcome back to my channel, Angela Shows You. I wanted to just take a couple minutes today and talk a little bit about something that I've been thinking quite a bit about the last few days as it's been really warm out. And I've mentioned a couple times in prior videos that, I work out a lot and I'm a runner. And so today's video is actually going to be more fitness related than it is crafting or sewing, which is technically crafting, I guess. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about fitness and nutrition, particularly electrolytes. So, what I wanted to talk about a little bit, because I experienced this myself, so I'm hoping that I can offer some practical advice. That's all this is just a little bit of advice. I'm not a doctor, so this is just my personal experience from years of trial and error. So I personally experience muscle cramps when I get dehydrated when I lose electrolytes. It comes in the form of I cramp up while I'm actually out on. It happens more when I'm doing a trail hike or a trail run. Um, But I also get woke up in the middle of the night from some pretty severe cramps, and it happens more during the summer than it does in the winter. However, it does happen to me year round. But I think it happens more in the summertime because it's warmer out and you tend to sweat, a little bit more. Not saying that you don't sweat in the wintertime because we certainly do. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about electrolytes. So, electrolytes are minerals that carry electric charges throughout your body, and they help regulate some pretty vital functions. They help regulate your heartbeat, they help regulate fluid balance, and they help regulate muscle contraction. So when you are electrolyte depleted, that's what causes those muscle contractions for me. So what are electrolytes? They're the minerals. They are magnesium, sodium, potassium, calcium, and chloride. So I want to probably focus a little bit more on the sodium portion of electrolytes because I think people tend to think, oh, salt is bad, but it's not. So when you sweat, you lose electrolytes. And if you've ever worked out or ran when it's hot out and when you're finished and you can feel you're all sweaty when you finish, you've got white. uh, I actually have noticed this on myself. I've seen it on my husband. um, he'll have like white streaks. That's like dried salt that you've sweated out. So replenishing electrolytes is extremely important. It helps to avoid issues and it could also prevent injury. So dehydration leads to poor performance. It could potentially lead to muscle cramps. It could lead to spasms. And you could also experience headaches and you could feel dizzy when you're dehydrated. And dehydration and electrolytes kind of go hand in hand a little bit. If you are electrolyte depleted, then you're going to have a lot of symptoms that are the same as dehydration, and you need to drink water for dehydration, but also you need to drink something that has electrolytes in it. Sweating causes you to lose fluid and electrolytes, and this leads to dehydration. So if you replenish that loss, you using an electrolyte drink is primarily. I mean, there are gels as well. Today, I'm primarily kind of just talk about some of the different electrolyte drinks. If you use a product like I like Goo, I like the texture and consistency of goo, but there's other ones as well. So you can use anything from coconut water to Gatorade, and then some of the other electrolyte drinks. Now, coconut water can have added sugar in it, so just keep that in mind. Gatorade also, unless you get the G2, Gatorade is also very high in sugar content. I've noticed for myself, Gatorade actually, I can't drink Gatorade while I'm doing any sort of strenuous physical activity. Gatorade gives me a stomach ache. I don't know if it's the sugar or what exactly it is in Gatorade in particular, but I can't drink Gatorade or the G2. Um, I just, I don't feel well at when I'm drinking it during exercise. So, um, some of my favorites actually are Noon and Ultima. And Ultima is spelled with a U, not an A. Ultima. So some of the brands that are out there, uh, Drip Drop, they offer, they do offer a sugar-free version. A product named LMNT, they are zero sugar. Propel is a very good one. Liquid IV, Ultima, Noon. Noon is a tablet. Gnarly is another one. Tailwind is another very popular product, and Scratch, SKRATCH. Scratch is non-GMO. So, you can do a little bit of searching online, if you're looking for something that is gluten-free or non-GMO, if you want a product that is certified by the NSF, the National Safety Foundation. Some of the products that I mentioned are certified, some of them are not. Tailwind has a lot of added sugar. That might be good if you're running a marathon, but if you're just drinking, an electrolyte drink for everyday use, Tailwind might not be good because it has a lot of sugar and it's pretty high in calorie. Where Gnarly is low, Ultima, I think Ultima is sugar free, or if it's not sugar free, it's very low. Noon tablets are very good as well. Um, I will say I find some of the flavors of the Noon tablets almost taste a little bit salty. Not all of them, but some of them do. But it's personal preference too, and you're going to want to play around a little bit if you are getting into some sort of exercise and or like a running routine. These are things that you're going to want to consider, so you're going to want to play around a little bit, and I would highly suggest that you try try these things out and play around with them a little bit during your training. Don't try anything new on a race day. That goes for nutrition as well. Don't try anything new food wise the day before. If you're getting ready to run, you might be okay on like a 5K, maybe even a 10K. But if you're doing a distance, a half marathon, maybe a 15K, a half marathon, a full marathon, you likely have heard nothing new on race day, but don't try anything new either the night before, because you never know, your body goes through the whole digestive process and it doesn't take 15 minutes. So what you eat the day before is going to affect what you have on race day. So kind of the same thing too with what you drink. With this heat, you want to start hydrating. If you're doing a race particularly, you want to start hydrating. You should hydrate, but you really want to amp up your hydration efforts starting a couple of days before a race. Now, I've got several things in the works, so I actually try to drink an electrolyte drink every single day, particularly now because it is warm out and I am prone to muscle cramps. So I try and stay ahead of that game by consuming an electrolyte drink every day. I particularly like Ultima. Um, but I also have gnarly. I do have some scratch, and I have a bunch of tubes of Noon as well. I like to mix and match a little bit. You can also I buy salt tabs. Those are really good. I use those a lot when I'm doing a trail run. Trails are particular, they're challenging. Trails are particularly challenging. So I really like to have salt tabs in my backpack, my hydration pack, when I am out there and when I'm on trails. I always carry a little baggie of them. It's also really nice to have, I like to have the baggie of them too, because if I'm around somebody who's having some sort of distress, I can offer up, hey, do you want a couple salt tabs? And just maybe help a fellow athlete out a little bit. So, as I mentioned, some brands are certified as NSF safe. That may be important to some people. This National Safety Foundation, they they make sure that the products don't have any banned substances in them. So if you're doing any kind of, it might be important just in general, but if you're doing a sanctioned sport, that you want to make sure that you don't have anything that could be considered a doping substance. So that's what the NSF does. So there are several brands out there that are certified through them, or you might find, that they're certified vegan or certified non-GMO, or, like whatever your dietary preferences are. So I hope that that helps. I hope that this gives you some brands. I personally didn't care for the LMNT. I didn't care for Liquid IV as well. I I stay away from Tailwind because it is higher in sugar. Um, so I gravitate towards Ultima, Noon, Gnarly. Those are the ones that I buy most often. And then, of course, I also get the gels because the gels have calories in them. Some of them have caffeine in them. And then they do have the electrolytes as well. So I hope that that helps you. Um, I hope that I've explained a little bit what electrolytes are, why they're important, and that you should stay on top of having an electrolyte drink, whether even if it be Gatorade or coconut water or one of the brands that I've mentioned. You can find these things. I find them right at my grocery store in the health and wellness department. Walmart carries them in their fitness section, so does Target. If you have access to Dick's or REI or some other Sportsman Warehouse, I'm not 100% positive if Sportsman Warehouse, I've been in there, but I've never actually looked for them, so I don't know. Um, but any store that focuses or has a fitness area likely will have at least a small section. Dick's and REI do tend to have a little bit more of a selection. And as you shop around a little bit, you may find that other stores have different selections. I buy my some of my stuff at Fleet Feet Sports because I run with Fleet Feet. So if you have access to a nearby running store as well, you may stop in there, and somebody there too can help you and point you in some of the direction. Now, when I travel, I often stop into other Fleet Feet locations, and I know that our local Fleet Feet store has different brands of sports nutritions than some of the other stores do. When I was in Nashville a couple years ago, we stopped into a Fleet Feet store down there, and they had different brands, not necessarily the drinks, but a little bit of some of the sports nutritions, some of the bars, for example. They had different brands than ours do. And I've noticed when I go like to the Fleet Feet in Syracuse, New York, they have even different brands and different flavors than the Fleet Feet in Rochester has. So shop around a little bit, try a bunch of different things out, do it before race day. Always play around and mess around during your training. Don't do anything new when you're doing something that is timed. You don't want to have any sort of digestive distress. So I hope that that helps you. Please give me a thumbs up if it did. If you're interested in more of this content, please do let me know. This is something that I'm familiar with, and I will definitely answer questions if I can. Do keep in mind, though, I am not a medical professional, so just keep that in mind. What I've shared in this video today is my own research, just from my own personal experience over the years. So I hope that I hope that you can, take away a thing or two from this, and that this helps you. I know I always appreciate product recommendations. None of the products that I've mentioned in this video, though, I'm not sponsored. So this is all purely just what I have found that I like. I can also actually go ahead and leave some links in the description box below as well. Most of these products are sold on Amazon. However, if you order them right from a lot of these websites directly, not on Amazon, they'll have your email address. Like, I often get emails or text messages from Goo and from Noon and from Ultima. I get emails and text messages frequently. It's not overwhelming, but I do get emails with sales and coupon codes, either especially around holidays, for free shipping, or they let you know when a new flavor is out or a new product. Scratch brand has a whole line. They've got protein shakes, they've got recovery drinks, they have gummies, and they have a whole line of products. So and they have sample packs too. So these places, if you order them direct from their site, they'll send you promotional coupons and discount codes, where if you order some of these things off Amazon, you're not going to get that. You don't have the opportunity to save some money on a future order. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I am glad that you're a part of the Angela Shows You community. And please consider subscribing if you haven't already, for all the future content that I have planned. Have a great day.